As the school year ended, a tense atmosphere settled over Harding Academy. The girls knew what fate awaited those who did not meet expectations. In the final weeks, teachers pressed students relentlessly, warning that slackers would face consequences. Fear of impending baldness motivated the girls to raise their grades. The day before the shaving ceremony, the headmaster announced over the intercom, "Any girl averaging below an 8 will have her head fully shaved tomorrow." Anguished cries echoed through the halls. The next morning, all students reported to the auditorium where barber chairs awaited on stage. The girls sat rigidly, praying their marks satisfied the decree. One by one, the headmaster read out names and averages. Those below 8 were escorted on stage, despite friends begging for mercy. But the barber ignored all appeals. Sarah watched in dismay as her friend Alice was dragged up for averaging only a 7.5. Alice's blonde hair was soon stripped away as she wailed, leaving her scalp bare. She rejoined the crowd, bald and despairing. By the time the ceremony ended, 30 girls in total had their heads ruthlessly shaved before the crowd. It served as a warning. Work hard and conform, or else. The now bald girls were isolated for 2 more weeks after their classmates departed. Shame and solitude crushed any remnants of individuality or resistance. This shaving ritual cemented Harding's control long after girls left the school. The lesson remained branded in their minds: comply or forfeit your identity. Failure brought swift discipline. This ritual of end-of-year shaving institutionalized Harding's control long after leaving the school. The lesson stayed branded in girls' minds: conform or be stripped of identity. On the last day before summer vacation, the headmaster gathered the students who had averaged below an 8. "You will spend this break bald as punishment for your poor performance," he decreed. "Your parents have been notified and instructed to keep your heads shaved weekly." The girls gasped, reaching to touch their hair one last time before it was stripped away. One by one, the failing students were called to the stage where the barber awaited. Their long locks were soon reduced to stubble under the merciless clippers as their classmates watched solemnly. "You will return in the fall with your head shaved on the first day as a reminder of what happens to those who do not meet standards," the headmaster pronounced. Sarah saw her friend Alice leave the stage in tears, clutching her severed chestnut braid. At home, Alice's mother reluctantly shaved her every Saturday, leaving her bare and exposed all summer. When school resumed, Sarah noticed Alice and the others had stubbly shorn heads again. "My mom shaved me this morning," Alice whispered. "Ashamed?" True to the headmaster's word, the formerly long-haired girls were now made to visit the barbershop every Friday to be shaved completely bald again as ongoing punishment for their poor averages. The constant threat of hair removal for any infractions, small or large, kept the girls subservient to Harding's control long after graduation. It was a lesson seared into their minds: comply or forfeit autonomy. When summer vacation finally arrived, Alice and the other girls, punished with shaved heads, breathed sighs of relief. 2 months of freedom stretched before them. At home, Alice relished feeling the sun on her bare scalp and swimming without wet hair clinging to her neck. She began to regain some confidence in herself behind closed doors. But out in public, stares and whispered remarks about her bald head from strangers reminded her of the control Harding still held even away from school. Each Saturday morning, Alice dutifully reported to her mother for her weekly head shave as mandated by the school. She tried to forget about Harding during the week, only to have her scalp stripped again. When vacation ended, Alice stood reluctantly before her mirror on the first day back. She turned her head, examining the stubble covering her pate. With a sigh, she covered up with a hat and headed to Harding. At school, she immediately reported to the barber shop. The barber wordlessly shaved her head smooth again, erasing any bit of growth from the summer. It was as if she had never left. Seeing the other punished girls with their bare heads bowed, Alice felt Harding's oppressive control descend upon her once more. She longed to feel the sun on her fuzz again. The lesson had been branded into her mind: comply or be stripped of identity and agency. As long as she remained at Harding, they owned her body and spirit. Her only escape was obedience. When Alice returned after winter break, she knew what awaited: the mandatory New Year haircuts. The first Monday morning of each January, all girls had their hair chopped off short or shaved completely bald. The night before, Alice ran her fingers through her shoulder-length hair, memorizing its texture and committing it to memory. Soon it would be gone, leaving her shorn and exposed again. After a restless night, Alice reported to the barber shop with the other girls, all of them hollow-eyed and silent. The ominous buzz of clippers drowned out quiet weeping as hair littered the floor. One by one they sat before the barber, helpless as he sheared away all traces of style and femininity. Alice bit her tongue, determined not to cry this time as her locks fell under the scissors. In mere minutes, she was reduced to a bare-scalped, meek little girl again. Any confidence or comfort gained over the holiday was swiftly stripped away along with her hair. The yearly shearing served its purpose: to remind the girls they belonged to Harding. Alice fingered her shorn head, missing her locks. But obedience brought rewards, she told herself. Next year could be different. The insidious school rituals branded submission into tender young minds. As long as Alice remained at Harding, her body and soul were not her own. Conformity was the only path forward. Over the next few years, Alice continued navigating the oppressive environment at Harding Academy. She kept her now perpetually short hair neatly pinned and her uniform perfectly pressed, striving to avoid any negative attention. Alice noticed younger students arriving with increasingly shorn heads each autumn, having learned preemptive obedience from tales of punishments. The school barber kept busy disciplining any perceived infractions. In her final year, Alice was made a junior prefect to help enforce Harding's strict policies. She dutifully admonished girls for untucked shirts or unsecured hair, having internalized the obedience mentality. On graduation day, Alice bid the draconian school goodbye with relief, but glancing at her reflection, she realized Harding's influence would remain. Her hair cropped short, posture pinned straight, mouth pursed to avoid attracting scrutiny. Attending university felt freeing initially. Alice grew out her pixie cut and donned casual clothes for the first time, but old habits died hard under the surface. Years later, passing a stern-looking woman on the street, Alice would instinctively straighten and fold her hands, pulse quickening. The roots of control ran deep, even far from Harding's walls. The lessons shaped her still. Though physically free, traces of Harding's oppressive grip lingered in Alice's psyche. Strict conformity became ingrained as the only sure path, at a profound personal cost. Hello, friends! I wanted to take a moment to thank you sincerely for watching my videos and engaging with my channel. Your views, comments, likes, and subscriptions mean the world to me and are what motivate me to keep creating content. If you're enjoying my videos, please consider sharing them with your family and friends. Word of mouth is so important for helping my channel grow, so I'd be grateful if you could tell others about me. And if there are any particular topics or stories you want me to cover in future videos, let me know in the comments. I love hearing your input. Your suggestions help shape the direction of my channel. Well, that's all for now. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart for your support on this journey. I can't wait to continue connecting with you all through videos as the year continues. Until next time,